It's actually insane how lucky I've gotten since the last video. I'm currently less than 100,000 rolls away from being at 6 million rolls, and so far I've already collected some of the rarest auras in the entire game. Also, make sure you're subscribed because at 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away 10,000 Robux. Now first, I'm going to go over the event auras because they're unobtainable and I know a ton of people want them. Now my first event aura is called Defined and it was a 1 in 2 million. Now the VFX are extremely basic on this aura, but I honestly don't mind because it's exclusive. 7 out of 10. And now for the Valentine auras. The Venus Love is pretty basic, I don't have anything to say about it, but I will give it a 5 out of 10. Flush Heart Eyes also has nothing to it. It is really only used for trolling, but aside from that, it's 4 out of 10. Now, out of the 4 Valentine auras, Celestial Cupid definitely has to be my favorite. The VFX and models on it are really nice. I just wish that it actually had a body aura. But honestly, for this one, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Now, for my last event aura, I have Blossom, and I know a lot of people want this aura, but it was so hard to get back then that really nobody got it. Let me know in the comments if you have this aura, because I rarely ever see it. Now, the funny part about this aura is a lot of noobs actually think I'm a developer when I wear this aura because it says unobtainable at the top. 6.5 out of 10. Now, I did want to talk about my titles because I do have the rarest title in the entire game that only 40 people have. Now, if you take a look at my achievements, I do have some of the rarest achievements in the entire game, but I still do not have the glitch title after all this time. I have the 10 million finding, 100 million finding, Payday achievement, Achievement Master, Spot of the Soul, and Content Creator title. And the Content Creator title is super unique because it actually gives you a badge next to your name in chat. Moving on to the obtainable auras, the first one we have is Common. I know a lot of you guys might not agree with me, but I honestly think Common is a 10 out of 10. And the reason for that is because Soul's RNG doesn't actually have an unequip button, which is dumb. Please fix that. Now, Celestial's VFX are okay, but people only really want it because it's used to craft a Heavenly 2 potion. Its VFX are good enough to where it doesn't really need a rework, but I'd still give it a 7.5 out of 10. The VFX for Arcane are alright. I mean, they fit the fact that it's a 1 in 1 million. It has a teleport ability, which is super useful for hunting down Jesters or Maris, but the only problem with it is that Arcane Dark and Arcane Legacy are both faster, meaning this one is trash! This is the worst aura in the game. If too many people in your lobby are wearing it, it literally breaks the entire game. Honestly, Define's better. A lot of noobs think that Undefined's super good, but it's garbage. 5 out of 10. In my opinion, Astral's one of the better auras in the game, and I like that the orb is stationary. I don't know, I think they did a good job with it. 8 out of 10. Now, anybody that played during the Easter update would know how big of a deal getting Unbound was. It used to give you 2 free Heavenly 2 potions for completing an Easter egg, which means everybody started tweaking for it. Honestly though, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It had a good Easter egg, a good quest, and it also has really cool effects, so. Gravitational is really cool. It's got reworked a couple times now. But the problem I have with it is that I got this like 5 times before I could get the Unbound quest during Easter. And they're the same exact rarity, so every single time I saw this cutscene, I would just be super disappointed. But bias aside, I do have to give this like an 8.5 out of 10 because this is a really good aura for its rarity. Virtual was saved this era. The team that reworked it did an incredible job. The only problem with this is that when you walk, you can kind of see it bugs really bad. But other than that, 9.5 out of 10. The only thing holding it back from a 10 is the fact that it bugs when you walk, but that's it. Aquatic Flame was also another aura that got reworked, and it used to look terrible before this. I think the rework happened in Era 7, but it looks great now. Honestly, I have no complaints with this aura. 9 out of 10. Poseidon's also another aura that gets reworked a ton, and it doesn't look terrible now. I just wish the water actually looked more like water on the floor. The walking animation is also kind of goofy, but overall I think it's probably an 8 out of 10. Now, I absolutely love the Zeus aura, but there's actually a couple glitches you can do to break it. So if you hold down the X button in the top right of your screen, and then let go, your camera literally starts freaking out. Now, I have no idea what the developers did to break this aura so bad, but there's even more glitches you can do with it. It used to break chromatic as well, but the developers have patched that since then. 10 out of 10. Now, Galaxy is an aura that gets so much hate for no reason, and I don't even understand it. The VFX in the actual Galaxy itself are really impressive. The only thing that I really have to say about it is that the body aura is kind of bad. But I do like this aura, and I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I really like Hypervolt. The effects are not really outdated, and they still look really good to this day. I also like that the beams actually fall and touch the ground, even when you're standing over like a ledge. Honestly, it was one of my first rare auras. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. The only thing I'm gonna say about Star Scourge is when are we getting a rework for it? This aura is garbage. 3 out of 10. There's been so many good reworks that have been suggested for this aura, but the developers are just completely ignoring them. This could easily be the best 1 in 10 million aura in the entire game if they would actually rework it. Sailor is actually a really decent aura, and it has a really unique style that not really any other aura has. A cool trick you can do with this is if you hop on the rig over by the waterfall, you can actually make it look like you're sailing in the sea, which is awesome. Hurricane is one of the new auras from this era, and it's actually a mutation of Stormwall, it just doesn't say it. Oh, random, no, what? Unpopular opinion, I'm actually a pretty big fan of this aura. I don't really have anything to say about it. 8 out of 10. Arcane Legacy is okay, but the only thing it really has going for it is that it has a huge symbol behind it, which is unique. But still, in my opinion, Arcane Dark is better. 6 out of 10. Chromatic's one of the first auras in the entire game, and honestly, even today, it still doesn't look bad. Like, I don't think it needs rework. The music's great, and the visualizer's nice. Honestly, 8.5 out of 10. Arcane Dark is really nice because of how fast it is for teleporting, but honestly, it is literally just a recolor of Arcane, and it's kind of bad. But for its usefulness, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Now, Ethereal by itself is pretty basic, but it has a really unique ability when the beat drops, it turns it into an even crazier aura. The only people that actually wear this aura are the people that don't have any better auras than this though, so 5 out of 10. Without a doubt, Exotic Apex has to be one of my favorite auras in the entire game. I got it overnight when I was sleeping, but it is such a good aura. There's already been a few people trying to rework this, but honestly, I think the current version is perfect. Like, I don't think anything needs to change. This is easily a 10 out of 10. But now moving on to the 1 in 100 million auras. I literally have 2 of these. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Chromatic Genesis anymore. I think it might be because I have 2 of them. But in Era 8, they added a really cool ability that has a cutscene and it does a ton of damage in PvP. I think a 7.5 out of 10 fits this aura pretty well. Honestly, I think the devs can improve this aura by a ton. Now, next up we have Impeached, which is just such a great aura. The VFX, cutscene, model, everything just looks good about this aura, bro. It's one of my favorite auras in the entire game. It also has a crazy ability that you can use in PvP, which is awesome. Easily a 10 out of 10 from me. Now, Bloodlust was my first 1 in 100 million aura. Honestly, I really like the effects on it. I just wish that it had a rework because currently it's kind of outdated compared to other auras in the game. Now, as you can see, at night it looks really good, but during the daytime it kind of gets scuffed. And for whatever reason, despite its rarity, it doesn't even have an ability, which is a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. 5 out of 10. And now, for the rarest aura that I have found in Souls RNG. I honestly have no idea how I even managed to get this. Out of every single aura in the game, Sovereign alone has the highest rarity counter of all of them, with 750 million. I can't even explain how excited I was to wake up and see this, dude. Like, this was the craziest aura that I've ever pulled. And the craziest thing is I didn't even use a single heavenly potion. And if you watched the last video, you would know that I pranked my entire audience into thinking that I deleted my Sovereign. And I still get a ton of people asking if I actually did or not. But no, I didn't delete it. I still have it right here. And Sovereign is so big that the only other aura that is larger than it is Monarch. Like, look at the size difference between this and Gargantua. It is insane. Now, there are a few issues with it, and one of those is that when you walk, you can kind of see the floor starts bugging out really bad. But it is just such a crazy aura.